1-800 Psychic Babes.
1-800 Psychic Babes. All right, Psychic Babe time. We're here to answer all your most juicy, pressing questions.
Welcome to another episode of Goddess Hangs.
Episode 25.
Woo! 25.
Time for a midlife crisis.
What is Goddess Hangs even? What are we even doing here? We're done. Just kidding.
What was my degree even for?
That's so funny. To be honest, I have been thinking a lot about what's next for Goddess Hangs. What's gonna happen? It's exciting. Know. Before we get ahead of ourselves, I'm Sadie.
I'm Juliet. Obviously. And we started this podcast because we are new-ish to the spiritual world, manifestation, mindset, witchcraft, psychic ability. Mm-hmm. And we were finding so much content that felt so like heavy and serious and like it's got to be a certain way. And we wanted to start a conversation about, or we were having so many great conversations that we thought people might want to listen in on this about like how we can just like make our practice our own and have fun and not be so serious all the time. So that's what we're here to do. Totally. We love merging. We love the intersection of comedy and spirituality and making all these things super like relatable and fun and accessible for you guys. If you're new, welcome on episode number 25. And also just the quickest backstory we could possibly give is Sadie and I were co-workers turned best friends who also realized we had extremely unusual psychic abilities at the exact same time.
Yeah.
So that's our elevator pitch to you.
Literally, Juliet was like, I took this course and now I'm psychic. And I was like, really? What course? And then I took it and I was like, hey, guess what? I'm psychic too. And that's our story.
And here we are.
Wild ride. We knew each other actually a full year before that came into being. Like never had Juliet been like, I think I'm psychic, but I don't know, or anything. And then one day we met up and she was like, so I'm psychic now. And I was like, oh. Well,
and in fact, we would have psychics come into our place of work.
We worked at a crystal store together. So we worked in a woo-woo place together.
Like at Ralph's? No. At a
bagging groceries.
At a crystal and fine jewelry store. And so people who would, before they even got their name out, would be like, I'm psychic and my name is also Marie or whatever. And I was like, stay away from me, get away from me, because they would then start like spewing out all this stuff at me that I never asked for. And so we promised to never be a rude psychic to you.
Unsolicited advice psychic.
So I was like, no, I'm not about it. Get it away from me. Yeah. And then the flip switched. And here we are.
I thought it was funny because every time they would come in, they would like look at me and then look away. And I was like, are they seeing me die soon? Why they just get these blank, confused looks on their face? Like I don't know if like my mom had like an energy around me where she was like, no, you don't need to read my daughter or something, because they were they were weird. But it was so funny because they would like go around and like say something to everybody, and then they come to me and then they'd be like, I must go, and they would like leave the store, and I was like, I kind of wanted one at this point. Everyone else is getting something said about them. But... Oh
my God. There was this time that one came in and
I know what you're talking about.
Is it? Because this is the one that was like, she had something amazing to say about everybody and then looked at me and like dropped a big insult and then left.
Oh no, it's even the one that was like literally twirling around the store.
Ay. So
some characters
for sure. But yeah, one woman came in and was going up to our boss, who was for sure like a very magical, amazing woman, and was like, oh, you built legacies in your past lives and you are the reason for the sun. I mean, it was just so over the top, and part of me now is like, was she trying to get a discount? Like it was really a lot. And then she whips her head around and she looks at me behind the cash register and she goes, you have a lot of fear, and then left. And I went in the back and I cried.
Yeah, because why would you say that to somebody?
And then she came back and it was like, the psychic wants to talk to you again. And I said, absolutely not. So
It's funny
if someone requests a psychic reading from me and I feel a lot of fear around them, then it's safe to tell them that because they are seeking psychic advice, probably because they feel that fear. But if someone is just at work, you don't turn to them and say, hey, you're fucked up. Like
it was such, I want to say an unusual occurrence, but so many unusual things happened at that store that like it was sort of another day.
Yeah, totally.
But we definitely like to practice our gifts with a lot of integrity and permission,
boundaries,
consent. Yeah. So if you are discovering your psychic gifts, don't go up to strangers and be like, your father has a message for you. Like, don't be that person. Somebody came up to me once at a mall and they said, I have a message for you. Would you like to hear it? And I said, absolutely not. I just kept walking.
Like, no, thank you. I get my own messages.
I was like, no. So, yeah. But anyways, Sadie and I worked together, and I know I've said this many times, but if you're new, I just thought Sadie was the coolest girl in the world, and I wanted to be her friend so bad. And I sort of just like planted that seed of intention. But you know, when you work with people, there's
always like a little bit of a boundary, even though you get really close with your coworkers. There's still like a little like sheet between you.
So when Sadie was moving on from the company, I was like, yes, now's my chance.
My last day, as I'm walking out, she was like, and we can be real friends now. I was like, yeah.
So here we are, and it was so meant to be, and yeah. So
and you know what I was thinking about too is, and maybe we've talked about this, but it's been 25 episodes since.
Wow.
When I, because we were supposed to hang out, and then I lost my keys, remember? And there was all this smoke, so we decided to Zoom instead.
Okay.
It was like this weird. We were gonna hang out in person.
I don't remember this at all. We Zoomed.
Really? Okay.
I said
okay.
Yes,
we were gonna hang out and have lunch in person over by you. I was gonna drive to you.
Okay.
And we were gonna each like bring our own lunch and like meet at a park outside because it was still like, you know, extreme distancing, all that stuff.
Yes.
And there weren't restaurants open yet or anything, I don't really think.
Okay.
And so we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna meet in the park. I'm gonna see someone, whatever. I lost my keys in Craig's tiny studio apartment. Like, I was looking for like over an hour for my keys, never found them. Well, I eventually found them, but I was calling you. Or no, I lost my phone. I didn't lose my keys. I lost my phone.
Okay.
And so I was texting her from my computer. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't leave without my phone. I literally don't know how to get where I'm going without my phone. I'm not from LA, and LA is confusing even if you live here, whatever. And then we were finally like, oh, well, you know, better off. And it wasn't meant to be. Let's just Zoom instead and have like lunch over Zoom. And I had the idea that I wanted to do a podcast. I had tried to do one on my own, but I didn't really like it. And I was like, I should ask Juliet. So that was in my head to ask you that day. And I was creating the Zoom, and I just typed in Goddess Hangs just as the name of our Zoom for fun. And then we talked about having a podcast, and I was like, oh, I named our chat today Goddess Hangs. That's kind of cute. And that's where the name came from. I just named our Zoom call that.
Do you love how I'm hearing this story for the first time? I have no memory.
I feel like I told you this before, but that's okay. I'm used to it. Craig has no memory of anything we've ever done either.
I have such a terrible memory.
I have a really good memory, but
well, it's.
I heard that actually having a bad memory is a sign of intelligence, because your brain only holds on to like information you need.
I think I'm also just really present. Mm-hmm. And so as it's happening, I'm not storing it. I don't know. Or I'm just dumb.
It's okay. But no, it's a sign of intelligence. That's what I just told you. I'm dumb. I have too good of a memory.
Victor's always like, remember this time that I took you to this restaurant and then we had this like moment under the stars? And I'm like, honey, I really don't.
Well,
he's like, remember the first time I kissed you? And I said,
no.
Where was it? He's like, it was in my car and we were parked across from the beach on our first date. And I said, I really don't remember that at all.
I have a really good memory, but it's not that great to have a really good memory because you hold on to a lot of stuff, you know, where I'm just like, I could forget that and my life would be the same, or better, you know?
But it was the thing. I do remember us going to Gracias Madre, and you bringing your notebook and you saying, so we're starting a podcast.
Oh, yeah. This was after that, I think. We were going to have lunch, and then I named the Zoom Goddess Hangs. And that's how the name came to be. But we were about to talk about starting a podcast. Oh, that Zoom call was when you were like, I don't know if I want to do it.
Oh my God, because I had a friend who was like, don't mix business and pleasure, and like got in my head. And then, but I really wanted to do it. And then I think my mind changed very quickly.
Yeah. We're always like, well, let's just give it a try. You don't have to keep doing it if you don't want.
Yeah. And now I never want to stop.
25 episodes later.
25.
25. Yeah.
Memories that one of us will treasure forever.
Me. And I will, on our 50th episode, I'll be like, Juliet, remember when I named our Zoom call Goddess Hangs, not meaning for it to be our podcast name? And then that became our podcast name. And you'll go, this is the first time I'm hearing this. And then we're going to clip these two together, the 50th episode and this one.
Juliet, remember, Victor does this all the time. Remember, you wore this dress and we drove into the mountain. I'm like, no.
That's me and Craig, except I'm Victor and you're Craig.
I'm like, I'm sure I enjoyed myself, but no, I don't.
I don't remember anything. It's okay. Some people just have memories and some don't.
Oh my gosh. So to commemorate the 25th episode, we talked about this the past couple weeks, but I think we really need to talk about it because some of you have already gotten your hands on a copy and are like really excited. So Sadie and I put together, and I do remember this, we put together
she's like, Sadie, tell them what's in it. I don't know.
We put together a goddess handbook.
Oh, we'll put it right there. Woo!
This is the creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme. I'm going to bring it up so we can go through the things in it.
Let's talk about what's in this.
It's very exciting.
We built it around the moon schedule, obviously. We're like, we'll complete it by this moon and we'll release it on that moon. But it's this awesome way to kind of, if you've ever wanted to go to, I mean, aside from this podcast, but if you've ever wanted to what is it called? Pick our brains and find out what we do day by day, week by week, our rituals and our spells and everything that we do to create a really authentic, high vibe, abundant, awesome, fun, witchy lifestyle. We've placed it all in this book, and it's not like a gimmicky coffee table book. It's a very potent, amazing collection that took us years to learn combined, and much investment and much learning, and we've put it all in this amazing book for you guys. So Sadie, take it away.
Okay, so I would say this is our what we use on a regular basis to maintain and embody our goddess energy. I think every single person has a very unique way to tap into their way. If you identify with wanting to have goddess energy, your way of tapping into that. And this is our little guide to get you started and then nudge you into creating your goddess routine, your goddess vibes, because it's going to be a little, it's I love it because it's two different people, so you have both of our goddess ways to play around with, and then you'll find yourself attracting more around that. So you get my famous previously mentioned self-love spell in this goddess handbook, which when the first time I ever did this love spell, I have a very sweet, very intensely loving boyfriend, but he's not romantic in the way where he brings home flowers or chocolates or things like that. Okay. I was doing this love spell on a Friday night. Fridays are a great day for love spells, and he was away at show, so it was nighttime, and he didn't know I was doing a love spell or anything, and he came home with a bouquet of flowers in his hand, a gigantic bouquet of flowers, and I was like, my candle was still burning. The spell wasn't even extinguished yet. And I was like, what the heck? It was crazy. And then the next day he brought me home all my favorite treats from the grocery store. And I was just like, what is going on? So this shit works. I've had a couple one-on-one clients use it, and one of them was saying how something we worked on together was that she always felt like she had a hard time being heard, and she did this spell, and then she all of a sudden had all of these coworkers being like, oh my gosh, like that thing you're doing is so great, like finally like recognizing her. So what I love about a self-love spell is that it can attract whatever you want it to be. The intention is to be like, the more I love myself, the more whatever I attract. Like the more I love myself, I'm just a freaking magnet. So we love the self-love spell.
Yes.
The self-love spell alone is worth way more than we're charging for this handbook, by the way. And you get what's next too, which is the money spell jar.
Money.
So you get a money spell jar, which I just recently made a new one, and we attracted a really big, amazing guest that will be coming soon with that will surprise you with, but that was thanks to the money spell jar.
That was like within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours. And like this guest has like a top 50 podcast, and we didn't reach out to this guest. They reached their people. Okay, not even the person, because she's got people, reached out to us and like sent us this whole spiel on like why she should be our guest, and we were like, oh my god, really? Like this magic works. Like we attracted that opportunity because we sent the vibration out. Because literally in the money spell jar I write down the intentions, you'll see the directions, and one of them was like, opportunities come to me so easily. I'm a magnet for new opportunities that I never even thought of. So
I love it.
there we go. Very exciting.
Sadie sent me a picture. She's like, here's the jar.
This is who we have to thank. Should have brought it in here. It's okay. A protection spell. So basically how to make your own black salt. To have all the directions there. Rituals for cleansing energy.
So important.
Full moon rituals, new moon rituals, manifestation magic, which is actually a really, really potent part of my Discover Divine Purpose course. So you get a little snippet of that in here, and it's like really good, you guys. It is done. You got it. Juliet worked on tap into your intuition.
Yes.
Tips for elevated creativity.
This is for all the artists and the creatives. If you are ready to kind of unstuck yourself and get into more of like an inspiring ease and flow, I have all of the tips for that.
I love that it was like overcoming writer's block and dealing with imposter syndrome, because I feel like even if you're not an artist per se, like writer's block can mean like at work you can't think of the next big project that you want to pitch to your boss, or like it can be anything.
Your Instagram.
Yeah. So in imposter syndrome, like we all deal with that, not just artists. So like this is so, I just love it. It helped me when I read through it. Affirmations that work, how we make our perfect personal affirmations, and some of our favorites.
Yes.
Quantum leaping, it's simpler than you think. Miss Juliet is the expert on quantum leaping. Self-love, a whole page on self-love, and
the cutest
a magical collage, which is worth it right there.
Print it up, make it a post, make it your wallpaper, print it up. I want it printed onto a quilt.
Yes. Put it on some mugs,
blankie.
some quilts with our faces on it, really big and scary. They're like,
So it's, yeah, that's the little.
It's really exciting, and we're so excited to. Sorry, I need to drink water. We're so excited to just like hear from more of you on how it's going for you, how you're using it in your life. It's so exciting. It's what's made the biggest difference in our lives. And I just launched my Basic Witch 101 Intro to Witchcraft. When I like was looking through our goddess handbook, and I was looking through my other new course, I was kind of creating them at the same time. I was like, these are the perfect pair. These go together. There's a small overlap with some of this, like the spells, but like I dive into it much deeper in Basic Witch 101. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna have a little bundle deal. So when you buy the Goddess Handbook, you also receive a code for 20% off of Basic Witch 101. So you have that option too if you want to go even deeper into the witchcraft side of my goddess vibe.
Basic witches, basic witches, basic witches
101.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yay. Well, today
What's new with you? We didn't do it last week.
We didn't even do this.
We haven't even gotten to what's new with you.
What's new with me? I wanted to talk about how powerful the energy clearing stuff is, because I just had an experience where I came home and I felt like I was crawling with some negative energy. I won't get into the experience, but I did everything in the book. I referenced our book.
She's like, what does Sadie have to do with this?
I saged. I put on heart chakra music. I lit a candle. I went in the shower and I'm sorry. I'm apologizing to the microphone.
I'm sorry.
I salt scrubbed from head to freaking toe. I put my hands on my rose quartz crystal ball. I used selenite, and at the end I felt like a better, different person. And so I did want to share that and if anybody who doesn't know that that's what I do had walked in, it would have been like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, I'm getting my energy back. So that was new. I have a song coming out in a few weeks, or maybe less when this comes out, but it's my own version of California Here I Come.
I remember when you first got this intuitive tap on the shoulder to look it up. It's a cool story. You should tell it.
Okay, so this is okay. You never know what things are going to lead to other things. So I get these little nudges in life and in music. I feel like I have a guide that's like a music agent or something. And
he's your producer.
A producer in New York. I can't do accents, but the tap was like, Disneyland is reopening. You need to make a version of California Here I Come. And it's going to get in a Disneyland commercial. Now, that didn't happen, but the direction was make a California Here I Come version. So my music partner, Evan Roth, and I made this beautiful version. And then I added my own second verse. Like I wrote brand new lyrics. So it's sort of like an old song meets like a new version. But in the process, I was so tenaciously like, we are going to get a hold of this ad agency.
Yeah.
Like emails and emails and phone calls and we didn't get through. We did end up connecting with one guy who's now part of our signed on to the team, so that worked out beautifully.
Nice.
But then in the process of Evan seeing me being such a go-getter, he ended up building me a position in the company to do a whole bunch of associate producing and outreach and stuff. So
oh my gosh, amazing.
I've been spending my whole life looking for somebody in the industry, and now I am somebody in the industry. So now I get to have perspective on both sides, and I'm really excited. So you just never know what your taps and your nudges are going to lead to.
I remember, maybe this isn't part of your memory. Maybe you forgot this part.
It's very possible.
I remember you told me when you got the nudge to look it up because a certain amount of time passes before you can make a cover. And
yes, I was in the car in front of your house.
Yeah. And so you were something told you should look that up to see if it's what's it called when it's just
public domain.
Yeah, and then it had become public domain 3 months prior or something.
It went into public domain in 2020.
Yeah, and it wasn't something she'd been waiting for or whatever. She got the nudge that was you should check on that, and then it had just gone into it.
So we're gonna release it as an artist song. I'm gonna put it out as an artist song. So that's really exciting. So it's funny how I'm just so big on don't box yourself in and don't think that just because your immediate goal didn't work out doesn't mean that these other things, because now I have this opportunity to be so much more involved in this company that I really believe in, and I love sales. You know how much I like
she
sales.
Does, yeah.
Sales.
So
now I'm back in sort of a sales rep role, which is so fun. So I can add that to the other, 20 things that I do as an entrepreneur.
I think I was just wrapping up the end of because I've been re-recording Discover Divine Purpose for this round, and I just wrapped up the last week of it because I just feel more confident, you know, talking so much on the podcast. I'm like, I'm gonna like re-record. I just have a bigger voice now, you know. First time I recorded it, I was like nervous, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my first course. So anyways, I'm wrapping up the last week before I leave for my travels. We're recording this episode early because of that, and it's all about, you know, because the whole course, it's 5 weeks, and we're going through the manifestation process. And the last week, it's kind of talking about, don't get boxed into the way you think it's supposed to play out.
Yeah.
Trust the intuitive nudges. And maybe what Juliet needed to hear to light a fire under her ass was that it's going to be the California Disneyland ad. And so she was like, okay, yes, let's do it. And then Spirit was like, just kidding, but you're actually going to do this, and this is where you're meant to go.
Yeah.
She wasn't like, oh, I'm going to give up on this song because I didn't find the exact thing that I wanted for it. And it played out in an amazing way, and you haven't even released it yet, so who knows, like someone could hear it and pick it up, you know. Right. Like there's still that possibility there. But whenever you're starting to like get clear on what you want and starting to listen to your intuition, and maybe sometimes you feel like your intuition led you wrong, like your intuition didn't, your intuition's leading you down the right path, but it's not like giving you all the information, because you're human and you might not be ready for all the information. And if your intuition leads you to like a new roadblock or a challenge, trust that like you are meant to come up against that for a reason. Like Juliet came up against a roadblock and trying to reach the right person, but then someone saw, oh my gosh, like this girl's a go-getter. She tries and tries and tries. Like I'm gonna create a new position for her. Like that's how that played out. I'm getting chills right now because I know I'm right. Like Spirit was like, yeah, that was my plan all along.
Yeah.
So like that's amazing, because someone needed to see you going for it, and like even though that was the original plan, it was like no, but watch, I'm gonna give you something better, and like watch how this plays out. It's so cool how it all works out.
I know. I've never felt more aligned than since like we started our podcast. Like I've never had ideas come in more easily. I've never had guidance be so clear. I've never earned with as much ease. Like there's just so many things that, because like I'm now finally showing up as like my full self and not just like this very big but like musical part of me, like all of a sudden like doors are just swinging open. And so let that be a lesson to you all. Be your most authentic self.
And if you need help with that, sign up for Discover Divine Purpose, because that's what that course is about. Yeah, this round is so fun, and we have like a group chat on Voxer. We're always like, what's up guys? We're always chatting. It's really, really fun, and I can't wait to launch it again. It's something I launch occasionally, so if you want to join it, you can DM me or hop on my email list to be the first to know about it. But yeah.
What's new with Sadie? We know you're traveling.
Oh, yes. I'm about to, so we're recording 2 episodes today, so that, because I'm going to be gone.
Oh, I'll be so sad.
I know, it's hard when we don't see each other.
I know it is.
But let's see. So I'm going to be gone for like almost 2 weeks. It's like 10 days, I think. So first I'm going to Appleton, Wisconsin. So my family's coming to, I grew up like 2 hours or 2.5 hours from there, so they're coming just to spend the Saturday, the day there, because we're only there for 2 days. So I get to see my dad and my brothers really quick, which I'm so excited about. And then we're flying to Philadelphia, which I've never been to.
She wants to see that bell.
I want to see that cracked bell. I think I told you guys. And it'll be Craig's birthday on Monday, so we're gonna spend the day in Philadelphia. Anyone got any recommendations? Let me know. Well, when this is out, we've already done it, but but I'm excited to just see a new place. And then so he has shows in Appleton and then Philadelphia and then New York City, so we'll be going there. And then I'm staying in New York City while he does more shows on the East Coast, because my best friend from when I was a kid lives there. So
New York. That's not the accent.
New York. Oh yeah, last time we started singing New York. We won't do that again.
No, go to the
Start
last.
spreading.
It's up to you,
New York, New York.
Oh, that was not a harmony, but it was,
nailed it.
It had spirit.
Had spirit.
A different kind of spirit than we usually talk about.
Spirit's like, stick to me, not
I
that.
can't wait till we get like our first review in like a big publication that's like, very weird girls who claim to be psychic. Sing off key in every episode.
1.5 stars.
There's no bad press. All press is good press.
We'll take it. I know, I'm like, what we have, like, we start getting like famous guests and we're just like singing at them and they're like, what did I sign up for? We'll behave. No, we won't. I don't know.
We'll see. Stay tuned.
What was I gonna say?
New York, best friends.
So I'm really excited to go to New York. Because I'm leaving for like 10 days, I had to like get ahead on so much of the work because the next 2 weeks, I usually do, you know, the week ahead for Discover Divine Purpose, re-recording it and adding to it. But I'm going to be gone like when the last 2 weeks come out. So I had to do like 3 weeks in 1 week. I didn't plan for that, but it was okay. It was really fun. So I've just been like working really hard a lot. I'm a little tired. But what's really fun is that I've hadn't been doing readings for a while because I've just been kind of like caught up in like creating new courses because I did Discover Divine Purpose and Money Mindset Magic and now Basic Witch 101.
She's on fire.
Been doing lots of courses and my readings are always like up there for anyone to like go, but if you don't like advertise them a lot, you know, not many people are buying them, which was fine. I was like too busy and caught up in that. But then I was like, okay, I want to do more readings. Like I miss doing that. I was kind of nervous because I haven't been doing them for a while. I was like, do I still got it? I don't know. You know, like I can talk to spirit with myself, but it's, you know, you just get nervous. You haven't done it in a while. So I put out that I wanted to do like custom spells, which include a reading to like, I was like, I don't want to know anything. I want to tell you what I think you need a spell for. And then you can fill in any other stuff you want me to know after, you know, we'll have a consultation after. And then after I put that, I also booked 2 just like regular readings because I think I had just put the energy out there that I was ready for readings, which silly me, I have so much work to do on the courses and I put out this new offer, but I really wanted to and it's been really fun. So your girl still got it.
Yes,
still
of course
got
you
it.
do. I could have told you that.
Everyone was like, oh my God, these readings were so spot on. I was like, thank God.
It is scary. You do feel like it's one of those like use it or lose it kind of thing.
It's not, but you do have to remain open to it. But I do consistently meditate and I do connect for myself, so it's not like I'm not using it, but you know, you're just not using it for someone else. But and then I'll like second guess myself and be like, was that not specific enough? Are they gonna think I'm just guessing? You know what I mean? But it's like, no, I said those things for a reason. But a really cool one with one of the custom spells that I just got something so spot on, so I thought I'd share.
I can't wait.
Was that I saw like a man, I'm not gonna say all the specific details, but I saw like a man that I could describe what he looked like, and then I saw a cat that I could say what it looked like, and then I heard the specific name. I think it's fine to say the name because it's anonymous, but I heard Shirley.
Ooh.
And that's not a name that I know anyone with that name or anything. You know, it wasn't like, I don't know. I always like name everything like Frank or Fred or Franny. Like those are, I don't know. These are these names I joke around with. Okay. The turtles' names are that down there. Anyways, I was like, that's not a name I've ever thought about. But I got nervous saying something exact. Anyways, the client that I was doing the custom spell for, she was like, oh my gosh, those are like my 3 spirits around me that I dream about all the time and whatever, like the exact name. And I was describing the person and then the cat. And I had just felt a lot of energy around this person calling her to tap into her like intuitive psychic abilities. And so I think these 3 spirits were like, you know, when you dream about us, because she was like, I always reach out my dreams. I think the message was like, you can do this when you're awake too, or just like, no, it's not just a dream, like we're really there for real. So it was really cool. I was like, wow, I couldn't have just guessed those names and stuff. I was like, right. I really got it.
Yes.
So it was fun. It was really reassuring that like it's okay to like not do readings for a while if I'm still like taking care of my spiritual self and I can hop back in whenever. But it was really fun. So I'm doing readings again, everybody, if you want one.
Get a reading from Sadie. Get a reading from Juliet. Get them from Sadie, get them from me. It's no competition.
Yeah.
So, and you can get one from each of us.
You can.
I tend to lean, my strength is more in medium readings, so loved ones who have passed over. But but I can do the other stuff too. We're both good at both.
Yeah. I haven't done a straight up medium. That was more of a psychic guidance, but then spirits came through. So sometimes that happens. But my readings, I do like, I connect to your energy alone, and then I like turn to my cards and like pick cards to go with it. So it's fun. I call it my wild card reading.
A wild card.
Wild card reading. But yeah, it was so fun. And then the custom spells I've been doing have been so fun. So the reading, and then we do a little consultation, and then I do the spell, and then I give you basically like a little like packet of 5 days of prompts for you. So like either journaling prompts or exercises, and then you have a week of like unlimited back and forth like as you're working through the work.
Unlimited.
You can
Oh
just,
my God, that's so generous.
So we use Voxer, and you can just we text back and forth as much as you need
I love that.
during the week. So it's my way of having a one-on-one coaching offering, because I've had a few questions, and I'm taking a little bit of a break from bringing on new like one-on-one coaching clients with like having calls and stuff. But I was like, this is a fun way that incorporates witchcraft and is my way of doing it, with a reading and a spell, and then like coaching based on like that energy that came through. So it's been fun.
You guys, this is a one-stop shop for all things witchy and wonderful.
Witchy and wonderful. Yes.
So that's a lot of new stuff with you. That's fabulous.
Yeah, I had my my girlfriends over for
the margarita party.
Yeah, the margarita party, which was very fun. We loved the place that I've been dreaming about going. It was fabulous.
Ooh,
we had hibiscus margaritas, which were so good. There's a real flower in there.
It comes with a flower?
A hibiscus flower.
Oh, I want it.
It was dangerous because it just kind of tasted like iced tea and not a margarita. So we drank a lot of margaritas. We had like a cute waiter that like kept winking at us. We were like, you know, it's like,
You know what he was doing.
yeah, you were like, yeah, we'll have another pitcher of margarita. You know, we're all like way older than him and like married and 2 serious relationships, and we're just like, oh, you like, it's just fun. Like, we're not old, but like just like flirting with like little young waiters that are like,
Oh my God, take me to this place.
it was so fun. And then we came back to my place, and we were drinking margaritas. They obviously all slept over because they live in the city so far away. And it was just like so fun. Like we were just, it was like having a sleepover, but we're like drunk adults, and it was just the best. We were just goofing around. We were dancing. It was so fun. It was perfect. It was like even more fun than I thought I was going to be. And I was like, this is going to be so fun. So it was awesome.
Sometimes days like that are so needed.
Yeah, I was thinking about how I think I remember telling someone about how like my job and what I do, and like, so they're like, oh, like you're really spiritual, that must mean like you are like really healthy and you like are sober and stuff. And I was like, no. I was like, those things, like, you don't have to be like a raw vegan diet and like never drink to be really spiritual and have a fulfilling practice and all of that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you can go out once in a while and get drunk with your friends, and you can go have a cheeseburger or whatever you want. And you can still be spiritual, because the difference between like who I used to be, which was someone who actually did party too much, really, and not take good care of myself, is like now I can just like do those things because it's fun sometimes, or like I understand how things affect my vibration, and like the way I move through the world is just so different. So like it's not gonna like, I don't know, like it doesn't matter if I want to go get drunk or if I want to like go to In-N-Out with Craig or whatever. Like I take really good care of myself most of the time, and life is about balance. And like, if you want to go get drunk on margaritas, if you're 21 or older, you go, girl. Go do it. Yeah, it was so fun.
Girls and guys.
Goddess girls and goddess guys and goddess, everybody. Goddess. Yeah, it was so fun. It was just goofing around and being drunk. I hadn't done that in a while, so it's really fun.
I love it. I had a night like that a couple weeks ago. Did I ever tell you? No, I didn't tell you about it. I don't want to talk about it here.
No, you did tell me about it.
Oh, I did?
Yes.
Okay, everybody got an eyeful.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Tequila will do that.
Whoops.
Whoops. That's okay.
But yeah, it was like, this is great. This will tide me over for about 6 months.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to get drunk like that again for a long time. I hate being hungover. I hate whatever, but I have no regrets. It was so freaking fun, and now I'm good for another 4 to 6 months.
Right. Seasonally.
Yeah. It's part of growing up. You figure out your balance, but it was freaking fun, man.
Oh, I love it. I'm glad things are good and fun and inspiring, and it'll be a night that you'll remember and a night that I won't. Which leads us to, I always say that at the worst times. Like, it has no connection at all.
We have brilliant segues here.
But we have a treat for you. It's another 1-800-PSYCHIC-BABES. 1-800-PSYCHIC-BABES. Woo! 1-800-PSYCHIC-BABES. 1-800-PSYCHIC-BABES. All right, Psychic Babe time. We're here to answer all your most juicy, pressing questions.
So last time we did a Psychic Babes episode, there was so many
we couldn't do them all.
So many we couldn't do them all. So we actually didn't advertise before this one because we just wanted to make sure we could answer everyone that had already put in.
So you've probably already solved all these problems.
I know some of them seemed a little time sensitive, but I'm like, we'll still answer.
We'll do our best.
Still be helpful. I need a little sip of water. So our first is.
Also, I just had a vision that one day we'll like be able to do this like live on the air. You know, like, all right, we're gonna bring in caller number 3.
Call in too. We could try and figure that out. We just have to tell them ahead of time. Like, we're gonna call you. We could clip them together. Like, we're gonna call you and.
Oh, okay.
We could do that. Oh, but like live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it live. Well, it could live stream on.
Excuse me.
One of those live stream things. I'm gonna get my cards out because I feel like a couple of these would be fun to pull a card for. And so our first question is from Danny, and they are asking, will I have another child? So that is a very specific question, and for me, I like that a hard yes or no doesn't come to me for something like that typically. Do you have a feeling around it?
What comes through to me is if you are having more of a desire to be like a mother in more ways, you will find a way to.
I think this might be a father.
Or a father.
The full name is.
Oh, so
unless it's
But
a parent.
Okay, if you have a desire to be a parent,
Danny can be a girl name or a boy name, but then the name you gave us, I think it's guy, but we'll say parent. Okay. Sorry for any confusion.
Right. I don't feel like it's ethical to be like, yes, next. Like,
yeah.
Even if I feel a yes, things can always change. So what I can say is if you have this calling to be a parent even more than you already are and to care for more children or living things, you will find a way to do that, whether it's through your own children, whether it's through fostering a child, whether it's through taking care of animals. I'm just feeling like if there's like an itch that you really want to scratch, you will find a way. Like you will feel satisfaction in that. So I would say just stay on the hopeful side of that question and that feeling. And my gut is yes, but I think it could also be in a different way than you expect. That's sort of my feeling.
Yeah, I was seeing a fish swimming around, which I know is a sign of child. So maybe yes. Aww. But I was going to say like kind of along the same things. Like if you want another child, you can have another child. Maybe it won't be like in the conventional way of like it could be like fostering a child, adopting a child. It could be not in like the very specific sense of like having the child, or it could be that like, but if you want another child, then you can make that happen. And so I'm getting the sense that I think if someone was going to ask this question, like they want another child, I don't know if you didn't want one, why you would ask, will I have another child?
Will I have another?
I feel really good like safe energy around it. So like if you're wondering if you're like ready or you have enough like safety or security, I think you can trust yourself to say, yeah, I'll make it work. If that's like the concern around it. I was going to pull a card for you and I just keep shuffling.
Okay.
But I would say like, if you want that, then yes. And then you just figure out how to make that happen, however you need to do it. Because you have a lot of love to give. I'll pull this card. What if it was like a baby on it? No.
This is the "You will have another child" card.
So the card that came up was lesson, and it says wisdom through mistakes. The lesson coming through tells me that maybe you've been trying to have another child and maybe things haven't been going smoothly. Like maybe there's been some bumps in the road, some challenges, and maybe that's why you're asking. So I think this card is asking you, like how we both kind of had this sense of like, maybe you're not going to have another child the way you had the first child. Maybe it's time to consider like options of other ways to have the other child. That's what feels like is coming through with that card. And I'm gonna pull a goddess card for you too.
And I do keep seeing like the baby girl in the car seat. So
is that your baby now, or is that the future baby? It says another child, so you must already have a child or children.
Sweet little girl.
This one. Oh, the goddess that came up was, I don't know if this is correct saying it, Hebe or Hebi, inner child. Rediscover the simple pleasures of life. Take the time to reconnect with your youth. So I feel like this with the lesson card is like, maybe you've been focusing a lot of energy on trying to make like another child happen for you. Maybe it's time to like step back and return to like a playful sense. It sounds like you already have a child or children. Tap it, like watch them and like see their just like child's like playfulness and innocence and way like everything is exciting and brilliant, like they're seeing it for the first time. Like tap into that for yourself, and maybe that's where you'll find how to move through this like lesson that seems to be surrounding this question, and you'll find your like creative solution or your way to feel like you're like, yes, I'm ready for this.
I also am hearing like, don't be stuck on like, well, I wanted the age gap to be this many years. I'm hearing like, don't worry about that.
Okay.
It's okay if it's a wider gap than you thought it was going to be. In fact,
we both have siblings that are much, much younger than us, and it's great. Yeah.
Well, I hope that brought some inspiration.
It's been so long since they put this in. They're like, I already had a second kid, another kid. No, I hope that was helpful, and feel free to like DM us or comment below. But if you want to like tell us more in-depth details, you can always DM us. And it just stays between us, but we love to hear from you. Okay, so our next one is from Nicole. I'd love guidance on if I'm going to become profitable in my business, or any tips on how to be and get to be a full-time artist and own a home I love.
Okay, so you haven't entered the energy of deciding yet. You're still sort of in the energy of like wishing and wondering. Is it even possible? Yes. This, if you're the artist that I think you are, you make incredible art.
Yes, that's who it is.
Okay, so I'm hearing that like there's just this feeling of like, well, it's just like I don't have control over it, and I'm just hopefully, maybe, you never know, hopefully, and I'm hearing like, no, it's time to know. It's time to know, and it's time to decide, and it's time to like, I'm seeing you like walking in, even if it's to 100 different galleries and 99 say no, that 100th is going to let you in and have your artwork everywhere. Like, I'm hearing like it is time to march in with that decisive energy. That Juliet energy. She just goes after. She reaches out to them. She goes after what she wants. You gotta go get it. Yep. And it's funny because, you know, I think what I've had to learn is like more feminine energy and how to be more open to receiving and allowing, and because that's not how I'm wired. Like, I'm very much, you know, a don't ask, don't get kind of person. And I'm feeling like I'm feeling like you have so much feminine energy that it's time to balance it out a little bit more with like, it's time to decide, it's time to be certain as the sun will rise that this is your destiny. It's time to keep putting out work. It's time to restaurants, hotels. Hi, I have beautiful artwork that would look stunning in your hotel. Hi, I have beautiful artwork that would look stunning in your restaurant. Hi, I have beautiful, like, just do, like, almost doing things the old fashioned way, I hear, is going to work out because nobody's doing it that way anymore. And when I love that. That's sort of what I'm hearing and feeling for you. It will happen it will start moving the moment that you decide that there's no other alternative. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, will you get to be a full-time artist and own a home? Is there an artist out there that you can think of that is a full-time artist and owns a home? Yes? Right. Then it's possible for you too. And if the answer was no, well then I always say, like, if you ask that question to yourself about something you feel like is out of reach and the answer is no, I'm like, then you probably came up on something really special and like you're gonna blow the world away with that thing. But yeah, of course you can be a full-time artist. Of course you're gonna own your dream home. Of course your business is gonna be beyond profitable. And I feel like since you asked this question, and it could, because I know who you are and what you're doing, I think you've made a pretty decent leap in your business actually since you asked this, which is really exciting to get to like read this question. And it almost feels like it has this old energy that isn't you anymore around the question. Like I feel like you've got this new, like, what am I trying to say? This new like skip in your steps since you asked this.
I just keep seeing a hotel and like walking into like this hip boutique hotel and your art is freaking everywhere and you're getting paid really well for it. I just keep seeing it, and like people are walking past. Oh, that's cool! Like, wow, this hotel's the art's so cool. I don't know. I'm just
so you need to get in touch with commercial interior designers.
Yes,
I've actually, my best friend that I'm going to go visit in New York. She used to work for like hotels and offices and stuff, and now I think, I don't know. She's amazing. She's makes so much money doing exactly what she's like so good at doing. She's an artist, but she's like transferred it into this amazing interior design business, and her company actually just helped like invest in her to like start her own company like attached to it. She's amazing. Anyways, I'll ask her how they find their artists for you and let you know, because I just think it should be everywhere. I think it should be in like high-end restaurants and like boutique hotels, and maybe you've just been thinking like, I'm just hearing like, I didn't think of that. Like I'm picturing that you maybe were doing direct to selling
consumer.
to the individuals, which is great.
But
and
I think
I love the commission stuff you do. Keep doing that. It's amazing. But then like also that's how you build a profitable business, is you scale it. So Juliet and I can do individual readings and we can do one-on-one coaching, but then we also create courses that we can sell again and again. We also have this podcast that will grow and we'll be able to like be sponsored and things like that. So when you start your business, it starts out small and you make those individual connections and then you build it up. So this is my tip on how to be is you have to scale your business, and what Juliet is talking about is brilliant. It's like reach out to you can have your certain prints that are meant to be, small and exclusive, and then you can make these ones that are like
big.
I'm a small scale, like not maybe large, but small scale. Like she only prints 50 of them, and that's it, and that's only to individuals, like for a special thing.
Make it exclusive.
But then you can make big scale stuff where you can send out to a whole chain of hotels. Like, why not? Like, that doesn't dilute your art. It doesn't dilute like who you are. It's you making some fucking money, man. That's awesome. And like your stuff is so cool and unique and like draws people in. We love your art, and we're very tasteful.
It's in both of our homes.
Yes.
So do you see how in that, remember earlier I mentioned I have a guide that is like Mr. Business or Mrs. Business or Ms. Business? That's who just came through for you. So, yeah.
And I pulled some cards for you. So the first one I got, create. nurture your creative energy.
Oh, that's perfect.
As an artist, but I think you need to pull your creative energy into getting creative in the business side, which may not come as naturally as the art you do, but you have so much creative power. And I think if you take and run with some of the things we've said and put your own twist on it, like there's something major in there.
Yeah. And if it feels good, if you're like, oh my God, I'd rather vomit than see my art at a restaurant, which I can't imagine you saying, just do what feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. I then got Goddess Lilith. Independence, recognize your own potential. Lilith does things her own way, and she doesn't give a fuck about what everybody else is doing. So this is your call as an artist to think outside the box. You know, you don't have to do only commissions or only straight to the consumer. Like, you're just saying, like, maybe it's not even anything we said, but we're going to like kind of nudge your intuition in the right direction. And now I'm like, they're gonna be on a cruise ship.
I saw that too. Really? I saw that too, I swear.
That just popped in my head. I was like, he's gonna be on a cruise ship. Especially some of those like jungly things,
and like that
you
ocean
do.
one you did. And
so Lilith is there with you. You have the Lilith energy to work with. She's hopping out of my hand. Lilith is the goddess I've been working with lately, and she's incredible. And she just, I'm getting a shiver because she's like, yeah, mom, right here. I don't know why I said mom.
Yeah, no, I had a moment. I was like, interesting.
I said ma. Yeah, mom, right here.
Oh, she's your baby.
I guess so.
Baby Lilith.
I give her wine and chocolate.
Thanks, Mom.
But she's amazing energy to work with. And then I also pulled the goddess Kali, transformation. Nothing stays the same. Allow new light to shine on old darkness. So I think this is kind of confirming, like, you don't have to keep doing things the way you've been doing. Allow your business to just like change and evolve and grow. Try something, and if that doesn't play out, that's fine. Try it a different way. Try a different thing. You tried reaching out to hotels and you didn't really like the energy of dealing with those kinds of businesses. That's fine. Try something else that seems more interesting and you're called to. Or
the interior design tip felt
you need to find some friends that maybe you have friends that are interior designers that could connect you with some commercial interior designers, or they're interior designers for personal one-on-one, but they're with like commission people, the perfect size and color and whatever for their space. That would be super cool. So yeah, I would say absolutely yes, you're going to be a full-time artist. You're going to own a home you love. You just have to trust in yourself, think a little outside the box, get creative in the business side of it. And like, you got this. Your artistic talent is there. So now you just got to figure out how to get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in business, like, just do the next right thing that feels right. Because no two artists in any genre of art are going to have the same path. And there's a lot of advice that I have done the complete opposite of, and I got better results. So just do what feels right to you to do.
Yes. Okay, so next we have Katie. Struggling to find my life purpose or struggling to let go of a toxic ex. It says or, but we can kind of talk about both. I'll take life purpose away because I have a whole course about that. So Katie, maybe you need to sign up for my course. Discover Divine Purpose.
I'll do toxic ex.
Who doesn't have a toxic ex? Oof. I struggled with that too for a long time. Okay. Struggling to find life purpose. I did this for years and years and years and years. And then I realized it was my purpose to help you with purpose. And I have a whole course that I created about this. But I want you to know that your purpose at the very base is you're meant to be you. Like you Juliet and I both believe in reincarnation, in that we choose like our next life that we're going to come into, and then we forget all of that when we are born. But like, we chose to be us for a reason, and the reason being that we figure out how to honor ourselves and be our most authentic self. I think things that are wrapped into purpose that we can examine are our gifts, like our talents, that are things that come naturally to us, the things that people are drawn to us for, to like advice or help with. Our gifts, our desires, what we want. That's so important. What do you want? What kind of life do you want? What do you want to do? Like, what you want is, when it comes from like an abundance mindset, like those desires, those are meant for you. Those are a part of your purpose, is to honor those desires. And then I think our life lessons, like the big events that happen in our life, those things that really impacted us, it's our like our, it's a part of our soul journey to take those things and figure out how we can find an empowered perspective rather than disempowered. And that's not to say we don't like feel the feels and feel the grief or the sadness or the trauma or the pain from those things. But I think it's a part of our journey, and it gets wrapped up into our purpose to examine those parts of our lives and say, like, what can I do with this? How can I serve? Who can I serve? Who can I help? Because I went through this. I think our purpose often is to serve a past version of ourselves, because we are the expert on who we used to be. So examine like your life and what you want, what you're good at, and who you used to be and how you could help that person. But just know, like, our purpose changes and evolves and grows along with us. So maybe you're someone who you're like, man, a few years ago I felt good. I felt like I knew my purpose and I felt fulfilled, and now I guess I was wrong, because now I feel so empty or I feel so lost or something. Well, that's because you fulfilled your purpose, and now it's changed and evolved, and it's time for you to step into a new version of you. So struggling to find purpose is a really important part of our soul journey. And when you start thinking about purpose, it's such an exciting time, because that means you're getting so close. So don't stop searching, and really examine those areas of your life, your gifts, your desires, your life lessons, and who you used to be and how you could serve that person. And there's a lot more, but it's all in my course, and that's kind of the meat and potatoes of it all. Is that's what I would reflect on and really dig into if you're trying to get some clarity on what you want to be here doing.
I love what you said about how your purpose can like change and evolve, and like you can serve the purpose and it's time for a new one. Because I've definitely gone through like different iterations, and it can feel really uncomfortable and scary, because you're like, but this was my identity for so long.
Yeah. You have no obligation to be who you used to be. You can be whoever you want today, and then you can be a different person tomorrow if you want.
I just got like, I liked how that felt. I love that. As far as the toxic ex, what I'm feeling led to say is that sometimes the hardest thing to let go of is the fantasy of what could have been. So, because if you really zoom out and you look at, well, do you miss maybe the controlling behaviors? No. Do you miss the jealousy? No. Do you miss, some form of abuse? No. Like all of the things that you put up with on a day-to-day, you probably don't miss. But there's this fantasy of like, yes, but it could have gotten better, and then we could have been really happy. And that's what takes the longest time to let go of, in my experience. And believe me, I've been there. So I would just say it's a beautiful thing when we are able to love someone past and see past all of their flaws and behaviors. I think that can be at its core a beautiful thing and a very unconditionally loving thing, and give yourself a pat on the back for doing that. However, you do have to introduce boundaries and standards and things that you are just not willing to tolerate, because you deserve to be loved in a really healthy, fun, beautiful, happy, real way. So by examining the ways in which that wasn't happening, it will help you let go of it. And in also examining that it might just be the fantasy of what like you wanted it to be, or the future you talked about, which was never really meant to exist because it didn't happen. So if you can let that go and just be like, you know what? I know I loved this person. I'm not going to beat myself up for it. That's just who I loved at this time, but I'm not willing to deal with that behavior and that energy and that attitude and that trauma anymore.
It just takes time, honestly, and that sucks to hear, because you're like, no, I just need the trick to like get them out of my brain. Like that person may pop up uninvited for the rest of your life, honestly. Like it some people just leave an imprint that you can't completely get rid of, and they'll pop up less and less in your, unwelcome in your brain, and they'll have less control, and they'll be more of a faint memory than this strong thing that still like hits you where it hurts.
Yeah.
But it takes just a lot of time while you're patiently waiting for that time to pass you by. When you're having like hard times or hard days with that, focus on like, how can I love myself more deeply while I'm going through this? Like, how can I just set that aside and recognize it for what it is and say, like, okay, like, I'm still hurting over this. That's fine. They didn't love me the way I wanted to be loved. So what's a way that they didn't love me that I can love myself right now? Like, really reflect on that. And I think one of the most powerful tools for getting rid of an attachment is like forgiveness. And even though it's really hard with someone that was a toxic ex, and I had trouble doing exercises like this for years later, even though I thought I was over it, and then I like had stuff bubble back up and I was like, oh God, I have to work on this. It was really hard, but and I just go on YouTube and type in like forgiveness meditations, and it'll like walk you through it. But doing forgiveness work for that individual helps a lot, because like, it doesn't condone what they did or say like it was fine. It's like, it's saying you don't have power over me anymore, and I forgive you. So like that, you're done, because that you're not allowing them to have that power over you anymore. So time, self-love, patience, remembering that you're probably only recalling the good stuff if you're starting to miss them, and that's just,
your friends and family can remind you very quickly.
Yeah. Oh my
the
God.
whole picture.
Yeah, totally.
And also forgive yourself, because I found it easy to forgive the person. Then years later, I was still pissed at myself. I was like, why was I there? Why did I allow that? What, like, my anger was directed at me. So also channel that forgiveness.
Forgive yourself for still letting it bother you. Forgive yourself for putting up with it for however long. Yeah, totally. That's a really good point. Forgive yourself.
You'll get through it. Okay. And it'll make you really appreciate like the amazing person that you are going to meet, because that's what happened to me and Sadie, where it's like, I'm never letting this one go.
Like, freaking finally.
Stick a fork in me. I'm done.
I'm done. Okay, so next we have Mads. Do I have any ancestors watching over me? I don't have any immediate relatives that have died in my family. I have a lot of deceased family members that I have never met from our home country. Yeah, that's Mads. So absolutely you have ancestors watching over you. Juliet, why don't you take some time? You're our house medium.
Okay.
To see if you feel anything. I will too. I'm going to shuffle some cards too.
Okay.
Just see if we can like pick out anything specific. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that you definitely have ancestors. I'm seeing dragonflies, which I know is just kind of a general spirit message, but.
So what's coming up is you have the opportunity. So I heard this thing recently where it's like, when we do our Sadie told me, when we do our healing work, we're not only healing like our future generations, we're healing our ancestors as well. And I'm hearing that there was scarcity about like food and money. And they're showing me potatoes, so I don't know if it was like a potato famine, but I'm just feeling like there was. They're making me feel like they had to live in a very particular way that felt very limited, and they weren't aware yet of all these things that are in your awareness. And so whatever work that you can do about like feeling good around food and feeling good around money is sort of like what they're rooting for. And I don't know if maybe those are two areas you struggle with, but
abundance mindset.
That's what's coming through.
That's very cool. I love that.
The cards are like food and money.
No, but I did love this because I pulled gratitude and trust, which I feel like
oh my god
is all about
when you're starting to work on like abundance mindset work, money mindset work, a gratitude, appreciate present blessings. Gratitude is such a huge part of it. When you're wanting more, take a moment to have gratitude for what you already have. Gratitude is such an accelerator and a magnetizing vibration to be in. So if you are looking to bring more abundance into your life, or more like if there's some sort of mindset issues around like food, like gratitude for like where you are and what you have and who you are, and just knowing like everything is as it should be is gonna help you like bring you up to that next level of like your journey of like where you desire to go. And then trust, faith in the power of the universe. I feel like this, I'm getting a shiver right now. I feel like this is your ancestors being like, we got you, girl. We're right here.
I also have a lady that is not leaving me alone. That's like, look, this is how you mash the potato. Like, so I don't know if mashed potatoes or mashing something with potato, but there's just, she's like, you're not listening. You do it like this. Like, she's very insistent to show me that at this moment.
Well, I would say if you have an ancestor altar.
She's very, and she's larger. She's funny.
If you have an ancestor altar, I think it would be safe to say that they would love a plate of mashed potatoes.
No, you're not listening. It's like this.
Can't wait to make mashed potatoes after this.
Please message us and be like, oh my God, my grandparents had a potato farm or whatever. Like, please.
Yeah, let us know if that speaks to you. And I'm curious to hear, what your home country is.
Yeah.
That's so fun. But yeah, you definitely have.
We all have our ancestors.
You. Yeah.
No one's exempt from that.
Yeah, like even if you don't want your ancestors around you.
They're there.
They're there.
They're always there.
I just inhaled my spit when I did that.
Her ancestral
Excuse me. My ancestors were like, Sadie, no more joking around. Okay. So, we have another.
She went like this. The lady, she's like, never mind. Then she left. Never. Right, thank you. Pleasure meeting you.
Sorry. Thank you. Okay, so Katie, I feel like this is one that might be another Katie. I feel like this one that might be past its due date for helping, but maybe.
I have a question about Valentine's.
This is a message on behalf of Katie's brother. I'm wondering if you have any insights or feelings about a situation he's in right now. He's having a tough time deciding on what job he wants to take. He's getting pulled in 3 or 4 different directions and doesn't know what to decide. What should he do? Do you guys have an intuitive feeling on which he should choose? Right away, what's popping into my head is like, is there a better, is there one spot that like the location he likes better? There's something about location on it. Or like maybe he thinks he should pick one because it's the better one, but he doesn't want to live there or something. There's some like location thing popping up to me.
I like that. I'm sort of hearing that like he may have to try it to find out he doesn't like it. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm hearing like, why is there so much pressure? Like, why do you need to know right now? Like, just pick one, try it. If you don't like it, switch. Like, that hasn't been allowed to be an option. Like, it has to just be perfect the first go.
Yeah, I mean, you're not locked into it for life. And if he has 3 or 4 job directions, I imagine he's like a great candidate and he can reapply, or like it doesn't seem like he's short on manifesting opportunity. So I was feeling something around location, like maybe he was putting too much stock in that, or maybe he should put more stock in it. Like, it's okay to pick one because you like that area better, want to live there, something. But what he should do, you said, what should he do? What he should do is whatever he wants to do.
What does he like the most?
What feels exciting? Where can he see himself in the future? What pays better if that's what he wants? Or like if something pays better but he doesn't want that and he's like, I should pick that but I'd rather do this, then pick that one. Like, what are his values and priorities? And then what does he want? Like, literally, what do you want? Don't put stock in the location or the amount of money or the size or whatever. It's just like, which one do you want? Regardless of, take out all the factors and what people think about it, what other people think, and just like, which one is your gut saying, like,
That's the one. I guarantee there's one.
Do you want?
What do you want? It's not that simple. I'll pull a card.
Yes, please. I almost feel like he didn't pick any of them. I
He's
feel
like
he did
going on
else.
a backpacking trip instead or something.
Because
that's what I would do. That's how I am.
No
job. No, thank you. I hate jobs. I like my job that I created, but
right, me too. I like.
If you have 3 or 4 jobs that you want and you can't pick one, yeah, maybe you don't want any.
Maybe you want to be your own boss.
We are big proponents of that. I'm getting a shiver after you said that, so I feel like.
Ooh.
Okay, I just shuffled this so much, and the exact 2 same cards popped up.
What?
Gratitude and trust. I'm gonna pick another one though too. That's crazy. Those are you guys were watching me shuffle. Those just flew out. So trust, faith in the power of the universe, and appreciate present blessings. Gratitude. So those are 2 energies around this little conundrum for brother.
Brother bear.
Brother bear needs to trust. Oh, this one. Oh, speak up. Use your voice to express yourself. So I think he needs to speak up to himself, be honest with himself about what he really wants. He needs to speak up to his family or his friends, whoever may be putting pressure on like one decision or another. He needs to speak up and say like, look, this might not be the popular opinion, but this is actually what I want.
That's what I'm feeling like. Like there's pressure from dad.
Dad's always...
Are you sure that's the one you want?
It's because they care so much.
They really do.
But yeah, he can do what he wants.
Which is such a simple answer, but that is the answer. Like, what does he want?
That's the answer to everything. What do you want?
What do you want? What do you want to do?
Do that. Okay, so now we have Mariah.
Is this our last one? Oh, we've reached the end. My beautiful friend.
My beautiful friends. I had a family member who was very, very close to my heart pass away in March. So sorry for your loss. This person was always very intuitive, and I wasn't ready for them to leave my life, and I have more questions for them than ever. I started getting into spirituality again after thinking about their life and everything I learned from them, and I've been trying very hard to connect, but no messages have come through to me. Right now, I'm making some major life shifts and feeling the most aligned with myself that I've ever felt, but I still just want to know that they feel like I'm heading in the right direction, or if they have any messages to convey to me at all. Thank you guys so much. This podcast has truly shaken my life completely up in the most positive way, and I really feel like I had the 2 of you to get me through this very hard time. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love hearing that. Okay. Mariah.
I got lost in the compliment. What was the question?
Connecting to this person that's passed away, and do they have any messages for her? And
From Mariah?
And she's been making major life shifts, so do they feel like they're on the right path? Do they have any like guidance to say about that?
All right, we will both do a little tap in and we'll see what comes up. I'm seeing the desk with the journal, and you're doing your like affirmations, or you're doing something, you have your little routine that you're doing, and there's a feeling of like this person is with you and you're doing your like little spiritual work and your affirmations and stuff. Like the desk is here and the window's to the right. I don't know if that's the configuration, but that's what they're like. There's light coming in from this way. Oh, and I'm seeing like all the seeds. So it could be literal or it could be metaphorical. So either you're literally planting seeds and like planting a garden. Did you see that?
I'm seeing a hairbrush.
Oh, very different. Or you've just been planting seeds for the future, and it's like the pictures on all the packets look like they're going to be the most beautiful, beautiful flowers. So that's a really beautiful sign for you. Now I'm seeing a hairbrush because you said a hairbrush.
I like, it won't go away, and I'm like, but what do I feel about the hairbrush? And I can't tap into it. I feel things always feel random, but you have to say them. Okay, so did this person used to like brush your hair while they talked to you, or like or something like nurturing with the hair? Like I just feel like I'm like seeing like long brown hair being brushed with the hairbrush. It's very specific.
I I'm smelling grilled cheese. Is that because somebody's barbecuing?
Oh, I smell something too.
Okay. I'm like, or is that a spiritual...
No, but it doesn't. No, I don't smell grilled cheese.
Oh, I smell grilled cheese. I could also be hungry.
I am starving.
So I'm seeing like either the trophies or the medals on the wall, and I'm almost seeing her like putting the medal around your neck, and so there's this sense of like, I've been with you for all your accomplishments, and like I'll continue to be.
Hmm.
And I'm being shown Frank Sinatra, like on a record.
Mm.
And fish bones.
Oh, fish bones.
I don't know what that is. Oh, and like mermaids, like there's some kind of connection to mermaids.
I was just seeing like a rock formation and palm trees, and that was like a tropical area, like a beach, like a thing.
I opened my eyes.
Mermaids.
I thought you were gonna hold up like the card had.
Oh
mermaid
no!
on it.
But I was seeing like I was seeing like the water, like tropical area, and then you said mermaids. I was like, I was about to see a mermaid. I bet.
She's like swirling around you with like rainbow colors.
Oh, I just picked a card with a rainbow on it. I'm going to tell you about the cards, but rainbow.
Aw, that feels important.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you connect her to rainbows, but you just got a double rainbow here.
When you see rainbows, I feel like, whoa, I've never pulled that one before.
What are these cards?
Okay, let's look at the cards and you let me know if anything else pops up. I don't think that's it. Okay.
Fish bones.
Fish bone. I pulled the fish bone card. Just kidding. So I pulled the happy endings card, end of a chapter, and I felt like this was just a card to tell you like all is well.
Oh, I just got a check.
Your loved one is so at peace, and like I don't know how to describe. Oh, I'm getting like so when I connect with my mom, she shows me how it feels, and it's like this like weightlessness. I'm feeling it right now. It's kind of making me dizzy because my eyes are open. It's like this weightlessness and this like bliss that you feel when you're on the other side of like, you don't have any like human stuff in your brain. Like you just get to like be, and they're floating around us like little sparkles, and they're always there, and they're always with like everyone, all of their loved ones at once. That was one of the first things my mom told the medium, was like, it's so cool, I can be here and I'm with my sons and I'm with my my husband and whatever. And she's like, it's so cool, I'm just always everywhere. But this happy endings card just feels really just sweet to tell you, like, I know this was the end of our chapter of us being together physically on this earth, but that's just the end of the chapter. It's not the end of the story. Like, I'm still there with you. I'm still here to support you, because your story on earth is still going, and like I'm still a part of it. And then pulled the star. Blessings, inspiration, time to shine. So this, to me, if you can see it, felt like a really sweet confirmation. You asked, like, I'm making these major life shifts, I'm feeling really aligned, and does this person feel like I'm on the right path? And this is like, yes, like, keep shining, keep doing what you're doing. They're so proud of you for these major life shifts and like you being aligned, and like this is you, the star, as like your most aligned self, your most true authentic self that you are stepping into, and just radiate your energy and don't be shy. Like, blow us all away with the way you shine. Yes, they're so proud of you. And then pulled Easter rising with the rainbow. Appreciate the early stages, they are integral to the journey. So I feel like this is your little note saying, like,
these major life shifts, this alignment you're getting into, this is just the beginning. Like, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like, you're going to be doing big, amazing, great things. And this loved one is right there with you as you do.
Rainbows.
And I've never pulled this goddess before. I actually follow this woman on Instagram. Sophia is the goddess, knowing. Share the intuitive wisdom you hold in your soul with your sisters and your soul family. This is interesting because it feels like a call to share beyond, that we're your safe space to share with. But this feels like a call to share beyond that. Like, do you feel a call to share about all of these things that you've been doing, these ways you've been aligning yourself, these major life shifts that have been happening, and how you've been handling it? Like, do you feel some sort of call? Because if you do, and you're sort of sitting in that like impostor syndrome stage of like, who am I to start talking about this? I'm still on the journey. Goddess Sophia knowing is saying like, no, like you're the expert on your journey. You know what's up. Juliet and I both started talking about all the stuff that we teach about while we were still in the process. We will forever be in the process of learning all about it. That's the beauty of sharing it with others, is you get to learn along with them and become more you as you help others become more them. So Goddess Sophia is calling on you to share this wisdom, and also like share. You said like this person in your life was so intuitive and spiritual, and you're kind of like on this path because of them. So share that. Like, that's a beautiful way to like keep their spirit alive too.
Oh my gosh, this was very special.
A beautiful way to end our third Psychic Babes Hotline episode. So thank you for your patience, those of you that submitted. We're waiting for the next one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it was so special to connect with you guys. Whether you submitted a question or not, it was very, very wonderful.
I think so many of the questions are just ones that everyone has too, and it's just helpful to. I love that.
Yeah. Well, give us a follow on Instagram. We are at Goddess Hangs.
I am Sadie Olson.
I'm at Juliet.Piper. Please go on to, iTunes or Apple Podcasts?
Apple Podcasts. Leave a review.
Please. We are so appreciative.
Please.
Thank you. If you liked your reading today, or you like any of the readings we do on our almost weekly Instagram
Yes.
live.
We'll get back to it regularly after travel and such is done with. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube or your platform of choice. Turn on the notifications.
Ding, ding.
Comment, like, subscribe, review. I think that covers everything.
Yeah, and we have links below. We have links to all of Sadie's awesome offerings. We have links to our Goddess Handbook that we're so excited about. Sadie's Basic Witch 101. Come hang out with us. We adore you guys, and we will see you
In the next episode.